Hello, this is JC from Real and Simulated Wars. I'm here with the Pakistani Air Force in DCS world. I am flying today the JF-17 and I'm going to do a strike against the Iranians who have been producing some trouble, mainly incursioning in our airspace. So I'm gonna quickly take off and we'll start talking about this module in a few seconds. So first things first, I'm gonna load my data cartridge. See it going down. So in the left MFD right there you see all the data that is available. I'm gonna select it all. I'm gonna start loading, and once that is done, we're going to take off. Again, we're getting a caution. This is related to configuration. Let's go to air to ground. There we go. So we're ready for takeoff. So I'm gonna rev up to 80. See if everything is okay. If no warnings come out. Yeah, everything appears to be okay. We're going to afterburner and take off. As soon as we are in the air, we'll start talking about this module and what this mission is about.
Altitude.
Full burner. I am in master mode navigation right now. I'm gonna select waypoint number 2. And I'm gonna climb. And that is Fujairah International Airport, which was kindly facilitated by the United Arab Emirates in this, battle against the Iranian influence in the Gulf. So the background of the mission is, well, the Iranians have been running some deep recon missions in Pakistani airspace and quite aggressively, sometimes even responding very aggressively. So right now apparently they're setting up some sort of surface missile anti-shipping. Silk-worn batteries being assembled, and we're going to strike one of the places where these things are being put together. That's basically the story. Our target is exactly at waypoint number 3, and that's all we need to know. And I am climbing. I'm gonna leave it at 13,000 feet or something like that, maybe even less. Okay, so let's talk a bit about this module. First, for DCS, this is yet another module that we get from a third party that, is more feature complete, not complete 100%, but it has more features and functionality than the two flagship products from Eagle Dynamics, the FA-18 which, you know, still being worked on, and the F-16, which is right now it's like I don't even want to touch it. I just play BMS if I want to do an F-16. I am sorry, that thing is unbearable. So yet again, a third party, like, you know, it happened with the F-14 already, comes up with this, where you can do air-to-air, air-to-ground, and you have very few, according to their developers. I mean, I don't know, you know, this aircraft is not very well known to the Western world. We don't even have a flight manual, which people love to peruse and, you know, base their critics or their critique on that. But, you know, I don't know, I just like it. You know, it has been pointed out that some of the textures are blunt and blah blah blah. I couldn't care less. Looks nice. I played this in VR and everything is so readable, so nice. I really like this product, and I really like that it is an unusual fighter. So let's talk a little bit about the JF-17. So I'm going to turn off the lights. Completely dim them out. And let's talk about this particular aircraft. This is a joint. Well, I am not going to provide the lecture on this, as everybody's trying to do. I'm not into that. I'm pretty, you know, ignorant about everything. But just some basics. It is that the JF-17, it is a joint development between the Chinese and the Pakistani government. The Pakistanis, as you know, they have F-16s, and they love them. The only thing that they don't love it is, you know, the upkeep cost, and you know, they want more, and they know what they want, so they need a cheap alternative. So they decided to, you know, consult with the Chinese and develop this one. And the idea is crystallizing in the JF-17. Right now, I suppose we have something between Block 1 and 2. I wouldn't know. This aircraft is pretty modular in the way it was designed. All these MFDs and avionics, you can plug in multiple components from different sources, which is a great concept. You can plug pretty much whatever you want here, with some restrictions of course, but I think that is brilliant. And well, it is a lightweight aircraft. This is not a massive, you know, aircraft. Like, it's not as big as a F-18, not as big as a F-16, and the engine is not as powerful, and you will feel it. It's still highly maneuverable, and it really can do multi-role very, very well. Air to ground, using precision munitions, and air to air can be used into BVR engagements. Particularly that SD-10 BVR missile, radar guided, is really quite capable. But you know, take it with a grain of salt, because DCS world when it comes to missiles is la la land. I don't know when they're going to fix that. It's appalling that, you know, a combat simulator has an, you know, AMRAAM missile of the C-type that is so slow. It's really, I don't know, needs fixing. It's not a secret, so my hopes that they can work on it. So highly maneuverable, as I mentioned. You will be left down a little bit by the power of the engine, and it has, you know, Very nice avionics. I don't know if there is some features that are missing in the module, or it is because actually the block didn't have them. But one of the things that surprised me it is, well, you know, a curse setting. You basically don't have it right here. There's no way to set a curse, and I doubt that that's the case in the real aircraft. The other thing that I was noticing the other day is when you go into the engine performance page, well, you see a subset of information right there with the nozzle position, the temperature, and the total fuel that you have. Well, I was trying to find a way to know what is my fuel flow rate, and there's nowhere to be found. That's kind of surprising. But anyway, I think the aircraft is in very good shape, and as you will see in this mission, it's kind of nice. And oh, there is something that I wanted to show you. Let me go to the external view. So this is my aircraft, and well, the engine is quite smoky. You can see them from miles, and well, you know, it's a very nice looking aircraft, and it has some design features that are quite surprising, like, you know, those little extensions in the root of the wing. I believe they're called leading edge root extensions, that they look exactly like the ones in the F-18, and well, they were put there according to many sources. This is just to increase lift and to allow, you know, high angle of attack, low speed maneuvering. But actually there are, you know, some research that has been published that says that, hey, those things, the leading edge root extensions, actually do not provide any increase in the coefficient of lift. And as far as I know, these things have been added back in the times when these aircraft didn't have fly-by-wire for the pitch axis, and they were added just to reduce drag, because, you know, the elevators in the back, they can produce a lot of drag, which, well, I don't know, I'm not an engineer, I'm just quoting what I said, what I read. And the other thing that really surprises one, it is, you know, those bumps in the air inlets. Those things do have a name. They're called divertless supersonic inlets, or DSIs, and they were, you know, I believe developed by Lockheed Martin, and they added immediately for the F-35, and they have a series of benefits, you know, for maneuvering and to getting the engine with the correct airflow, and to avoid, you know, any turbulent flow at either both at high and low speeds. So it's like, wow, my God, that's an advanced feature over there, not to be ignored. And then we have laser guided bombs, and in the center pylon we have our targeting pod. So let's go back into our cockpit, and wow, we are getting near. So I'm gonna select waypoint number 3, which is our target point, and let's fence in. Master arm. Oh my God, I hate this. Master arm on. We're going to go into the store management, and we will select air to ground mode. We have the GBU 12s in automatic mode, meaning the laser is gonna be, you know, providing the guidance, terminal guidance. The fuse needs to be set for the nose. And I'm gonna make 2 runs with 2 bombs each. And that's pretty much it. So now I'm gonna disengage the autopilot, which it was set up using that UFC right here, this button for autopilot. So after that, we're going to go to the main page and we're going to start using our targeting pod. So I'm going to turn it on, uncage it, and right now it is in CCD, so I'm going to use infrared and the black hot feature, and that's pretty much it. So that's our target point. You see the diamond and the circle, which indicates where the targeting pod it is aiming to. Right now we have the targeting pod slaved to the waypoint, which is really very convenient. So we are 25 miles still. Oh, let me reduce the gain because this thing is too bright. I apologize because of the appalling, lack of definition in my targeting pod. I had to lower it down because sometimes the targeting pod image bleeds into the radar, and that has been acknowledged as a problem that DCS, Eagle Dynamics needs to fix this. So let's hope that happens sometime soon. So I'm going to use a narrow field of view, and I need to zoom in, so I'm going to select it as a sensor of interest. So we're now 16 nautical miles, and you can start seeing stuff right there. So I'm gonna ground stabilize it, and this is all the zooming power. You can make up some, buildings, some vehicles. Let me zoom in for you guys. And again, I'm sorry about the resolution of the targeting pod. This is more like something that was just coming from the engine itself. So I'm gonna aim a laser guided bomb right there in the base, and let's just make our run. I'm at 8,000 feet. Last second adjustment there. And here comes, you see that rectangle coming down. Release Pickle. 2 bombs away. So the laser is active now. 12 seconds to impact. There we go. The launcher and the radar are gone. We killed some infantry too. So let's make an egress. Full afterburner. We're a bit high. So there is more targets of opportunity around there. There's all these BMP vehicles. Let's drop a bomb in the middle of them. They're soft. I mean, not soft skinned, but hopefully we can do some damage, or at least scare these guys. So, wow, our waypoint has changed, so I'm gonna bring it back to number 3. Seven nautical miles. I see the flames back over there of the previous bombing run. We have to bring it down over there. And make a second run. So as you can see, very good precision targeting. Targeting pod. It's really very nice and relatively easy to work with. So let's make a second run right now. Pickle. Just a little bit. Impact. We have a lot of infantry. Just one BMP that was destroyed. Another BMP destroyed. Wow, another one now. We made a killing. And another one. Well, so now what I'm gonna do, wow, certainly I'm going to cage the targeting pod, and I'm gonna use the map because I know I placed some vehicles which are not commuting, they're transporting materials between both this site and towards the port that is nearby. So let me see if I can find them using the radar. Well, that's another thing. We have a radar. A ground radar, no less. It's like, when you see things like this, it makes you wonder what the heck is going on with Eagle Dynamics. It's like, guys, I love you, but sometimes it's like, give me a break. So there is a lot of clutter there. Probably we are too high. We cannot detect them. Those guys look pretty fine if you ask me. But I cannot lock them in. So I was talking about the FA-18, for which we don't have a radar yet. Yeah, I see the road and I see some stuff right there, but I cannot lock. There is definitely something there, but for some reason I cannot lock it. Hope you're seeing it, this green blob over there. Anyway, probably they're gonna start shooting at me before I can lock them up. We can try another pass and let's show off a little bit of our maneuverability. We're 500 knots. Let's try to climb. So that was nice, but we are already in the 300s. Probably was like too much. So right now at 300 we can barely pull G's at this speed. I do believe that we're way too short of the corner speed. Oh, oh, whoa, do you see that? I had them, but I lost them. Oh, there they are. I cannot lock them. You see that green bar over there? That's a complete giveaway of them. Let's come in. Now I'm pissed. There they are. I have achieved lock, which is really very nice. Hope they didn't shoot me. Well, they're trucks, so that was nice that I could lock them. And right now they stopped moving. Well, already passed them. So let's try and do this again. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the gun. Now, if you're about to strafe using the JF-17, I want you to be aware of something. This aircraft, when the airspeed is too high, oh, look at this. You load the gun using this, and then you need to fit it. Pretty much like the gun in the MiG-21. And I was telling you that, well, if you're going to strafe or strafe using the JF-17, just be careful, because if your speed is too high, you completely lose authority in the pitch axis. So that's a not so nice thing. And you're gonna crash into the ground. So for this aircraft, I just strafe at the very shallow angle of the the very shallow angle, like 10 degrees or something like that. I just don't like crashing into the ground. So let's see if we can lock these guys. They were right there, kind of west of the site that we just bombed. I cannot make out these contacts. I'm gonna reduce. There is also the possibility that they just stop it. The way to check that would be to use just the map mode. No, it's not working out. Cannot lock them. What I should have done, it is as soon as I saw them, is to place a mark. It should be available using that mark button in the UFC right there. Because right now these guys are not showing up. Yeah, no. It's not happening, boys. This is some other debris. So I'm quickly running out of fuel. So probably I won't have any fuel left to return. So I'm gonna have to cut this mission short of landing. Oh, there they are. Oh, I see why. It is because right now, oh my god, these guys are crazy. You know what's happening? They're moving towards me. That's why. That's why I can see them now. Oh my god, yeah. Now that they're moving towards me, I mean, how fast they can be. This is just insane. But, you know, if they're coming towards you, the ground moving radar can detect them and make them lockable. Like, you know, they're readily... That's crazy. That's freaking crazy. Okay, anyway, there they are. I'm gonna just cut the throttle and do some strafing. I'm gonna pull out. I hit the truck. I just cannot believe. So, for using the ground moving target, you have to take into consideration the aspect. That's kind of mind-blowing. I mean, it has to be, really. Anyway, I just became a bit more happy with this module. And, well, I killed some trucks too. And I don't have enough fuel to come back home. But I don't care, because it was a nice run. And, well, I will have to cut it here because it's, you know, this video is getting too long. So anyway, I hope I have entertained you, and that you know, I'm looking forward to read your commentary about this module. If you like it, if you don't, just leave a message, a like or unlike. Oh, that's the previous wreckage. I'm not touching that. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you around.